My name is Bruce Cameron. I'm Director of Renewable and Sustainable Energy in the province of Nova Scotia in the Department of Energy. First of all, the case for renewables is very strong, particularly in Nova Scotia, where up until a year or two ago, we were approaching 80% of our electricity from coal. That left us very vulnerable to rising coal prices, and they are rising. They match oil prices on a global market. And so we're very vulnerable to the price changes. We're also very vulnerable to all of the negative environmental impacts that come from burning coal. There are a variety of ways to bring on new electricity supplies. One is to let the integrated utility build them and then go through a public hearing as to whether they're bringing it on at a reasonable cost. You can go to independent power producers and you can say, give us your best price, bring it on. Or another way is to turn that model on its head and instead say, we think this is the fair price for electricity, and that'll be the tariff, and you just come and feed into us at that price. And that's what a feed-in tariff does. It sets a price, sets it at a fair level for the technology and the situation that you've got, and invites people to bring forward projects. So the province said, we'd like to set a goal of 25% of our electricity sources to come from renewable electricity by 2015, and then it became a question of how do we do that. And what we've said is that we can do it in a whole lot of ways, and some of them we're going to continue doing. There's competitive bidding, there's some independence that comes with that. But a lot of it also came down to communities wanting to participate in the electricity sector as part of their sustainability agendas. And so we said, okay, we're going to set up a special program that is going to be designed directly for communities to participate collectively. This isn't so much a business opportunity as an opportunity for people to bring in their community way, new sources of electricity that will also help us meet goals provincially. So the community feed-in tariff, or COMFIT as we call it, is really all about setting rates for communities to participate. And by communities, we mean groups that have clear community roots. A municipality is by definition a community. Universities, you have also not-for-profit organizations with a base of membership in a community. And we also have in Nova Scotia something that's called a CDIF, which is a Community Economic Development Fund. And that allows people to get together and run a business model. You can run a business for profit, but it's done under certain parameters to ensure that it still is community-based. The idea behind a community feed-in tariff is that a community will decide that it wants to proceed with an electricity project, a renewable electricity project. And it'll know right up front what it'll get paid for the electricity. The Utility and Review Board is setting the actual rate. So it's not government that says, oh, this is economic, this isn't. It's a very transparent public process to set the rates. And then communities can make a decision whether they want to, whether it makes sense for them to go ahead and do this. One of the things that I think is really important for people to understand is when people are thinking about getting into the energy business, the electrical generation business, it's much like getting into any business. You want to sit back and think very carefully if you want to raise millions of dollars, invest it, operate it for up to 20 years or more, and to be able to manage a construction business, to manage an operations business, to manage a world in which the resource may change, the wind may not blow. You have to organize people, you have to find good lawyers and accountants and make sure that you got good advice. It's like any other business in that sense, except this is one big difference, is that you will know what the revenue stream is going to be if the resource estimates are correct. So you know the price you're going to get for the output. And often that is a major part of a business risk. You don't know if the customers are going to come. In this case, you know that your customers are going to be Nova Scotia Power. They're going to buy all the power that you've contracted for, and you'll know the price. So that actually takes some of the risk out of the business. But I want to make it clear that there still are a lot of risks that go along with this. So what we've tried to do is take out some of the risk in order to make sure that people and communities can get engaged. The system we've set up for them to get engaged is a lot more simple than the business itself. It really is go to the website, take a look through, walk through the application process, and answer the questions. And one of the things that we're really trying to do here is to set up an application system that is more about helping you think about your project than it is about the government saying your project is good. What we're really trying to do is be the sort of the nudge that says, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? We want to make sure that people think through the environmental impacts. We also want to make sure that they think through the business impacts, because this is, in the end of the day, is a bit of a business. And just like any other business, particularly one that involves a lot of capital, you've got to think about it carefully. You've got to think all the way through from beginning to end what you're doing. And so what we're designing the whole application process to help you think through what it is that you're doing, and to make sure that when you get the permit at the end, you've got a good business model and things are going to go the way that you thought. But the whole idea is that you engage with people in your community. This isn't about one entrepreneur deciding to corner the wind market. This is about communities coming together and saying, we want to have some more electricity produced in our community that is renewable, and that in effect those electrons are being used in our community.